This video contains spoilers for FF14 Shadowbringers. The Rak'tika Great Wood is home to a variety of species, as well as multiple humanoid tribes. It also holds hidden secrets of the past empires of the First. The protectors of this Great Wood are the Vi, residing in the village of Fano, who are distrusting of outsiders, driving any trespassers back with lethal force. The Vi also keep watch over the health and well-being of the Great Wood itself. An example of this is a group of 4 Vi called the Singing Bows. Led by Myalna Bowsing, they patrol the Great Wood and quell any threats within. This is one such patrol they undertook, which led to a fateful encounter with a deadly foe of the Great Wood. Myalna and her 3 huntresses are on the landing platform of Fano with their 4 griffins, or Jaculis as they are known to the Vi. In the distance, one of the party spots a gathering of beasts and alerts Myalna. "Myalna, what are they?" "Echoes, I think, but there is something strange about them." Myalna lets out the call. "Bows, with me. We have work to do."
Understood!
The Singing Bows track down a group of echoes that have become unnaturally aggressive, having contracted a strange disease. It threatens to spread throughout the Great Wood unless it can be nipped in the bud. They dismount and Myalna gives the order. "We must cull them before the sickness can spread." The Bows leap into action right away, with their loyal griffins standing well back out of danger. Echoes are essentially bombs that have adapted to living around wooden areas, thus their appearance. They are just as lethal as their fire counterparts, but rely less on self-destruction. Bombs are classified as void scent, but it's unclear if echoes are as well, or just a coincidence in terms of appearance. That will suffice. The echoes are dealt with, however Myalna senses that there is a source to this trouble. "Onward, sisters!" They make their way across the wood to the south, near a path that leads to the western side of Rak'tika. It's here they encounter the source of the sickness that befell the echoes. After investigating the remains of the diseased echoes, the Singing Bows discovered they were infected by crawlers that had wandered into the Great Wood. I recognize that stench. Those crawlers must be what is spreading the disease. My thoughts exactly. Sisters, you know what to do. Their solution, as always, is to cull the beasts before they can do more harm. The Bows get right to work and start culling this group of crawlers. Crawlers are a type of vilekin that can be encountered not only on the First, but also on the Source. They are very aggressive and have a tendency to pick up diseases which they spread as they wander. They succeed in putting down every crawler in the area. That should put a stop to the disease. I certainly hope so. We are running dangerously low on arrows though. I suggest that we go gather feathers for flights. The Tarachuks should be nearby. They quickly mount up and proceed towards a flock of Tarachuks at a nearby elevated location. The Singing Bows go through rather a lot of arrows in their line of work, and they are in need of Tarachuk feathers from which they can make more. Although Tarachuks occasionally molt here or there, it'll be much quicker to simply slaughter an entire flock and pluck them from their still warm corpses. Tarachuks are scalekin that are native to the Great Wood. On the Source, we see them in many different locations, but we refer to these scalekin by the name Z's. Myalna speaks up after landing. "Such fine plumage. Tarachuk feathers the ideal choice for arrow flights. This flock should provide us with enough to last for a while. There may be a few lying on the ground, but the quickest way is to put down the Tarachuks and pluck them from their corpses." The Bows jump right in, with Myalna collecting the feathers they gather and also watching over the griffins. After gathering a couple dozen feathers, they are given to Myalna. "This should suffice. Your assistance is much appreciated. We had best stop there. No point dying for a bunch of feathers." Since they need to fashion new arrows and it being later in the day, the bows start a campfire and tend to the tasks required. This shows their experience and wisdom, not only of Myalna as their leader, but the huntresses under her command. Rather than risk the flight home with low stocks of arrows or provisions, they instead fly to a nearby location to resupply, before journeying back to Fano. Thus, in the event they need to fight again on their way home, they will be fully prepared. Also of note is their discipline during their rest period. One of the bows always stands guard, weapon at the ready. Another rests by the campfire, while a third tends to the griffins. Lastly, Myalna prepares a new stock of arrows. They likely rotate these roles to allow everyone to get suitably rested and prepared. While at the camp, we take some time to get to know the Singing Bows a little better. We Singing Bows have developed their own way of fighting, based on Myalna's teachings. But after seeing the way you outsiders handle yourselves, I think we may stand to learn something from you too. It is said that before the flood, there were many more birds in the Great Wood. They would feed on creatures such as crawlers, which upset the natural balance of the forest by spreading diseases and eating saplings. With those birds now gone, it falls to us to control the number of such pests. As we are constantly moving from one location to the next, we must eat whenever the opportunity affords itself. As such, we intend to rely on dried foods that are easy to carry. The decline in the number of Vais since the Flood of Light means that we of Fano are the only ones left to defend the Great Wood. We learn from them that despite the Great Wood being spared the destructive force of the Flood, it nonetheless had suffered for it, even 100 years down the line as the light never stopped shining. Stands to reason even after the Knight's return, the Great Wood and the Vi will need a long time to properly recover. Once suitably rested and prepared, the Singing Bows take flight once more to return to Fano. On the way, however, they encounter something being attacked on the ground. Myalna, look! They are attacking an ancient guardian. The ancient guardian has patrolled the forest since the days of the Ronkin Empire. It seems, however, that some of the more depraved citizens of the Great Wood have taken umbrage with the Stony Protector, and seek to end its watch once and for all. Given the Vi's role in not only protecting the Great Wood, but also what remains of the Ronkin Empire, they instantly descend to help defend the Sentry. The Ancient Guardian is a type of soulkin, an inanimate object granted life via magic or a magic medium. We know these particular soulkin as Uroliths on the source, beings that were likely created with great care, specifically for the purpose of granting them life. With the Guardian's attackers dispatched, it resumes its patrol duty and heads into the woods. It seems the danger has passed. Come, we must report this to the others. The Singing Bows take flight once more and complete their journey back to Fano to report on their progress. Once in Fano, we have further discussions with them while they take some time to rest. Not only do we defend the Ronkin ruins from intruders, but we work to maintain the delicate natural balance of the Great Wood. We would struggle to perform our duties without the Jaculis. They allow us to reach even the farthest reaches of the Great Wood with remarkable speed. What would an outsider like you want with us? We live to defend the Great Wood, from threats great and small. Just as we finish conversing with Myalna, a terrible roar echoes from deep in the Great Wood. Did you hear that? It sounded like a roar. If that is what I think it is, we must hurry. The Bows mount their griffins and head with all speed towards the source of the roar. As it finally comes into view, there it is! Is that Tojil? Many a sister has died fighting that beast. The massive beast we are confronted with stands very tall on two legs, and viciously stomps the ground in a threatening manner. Arrows at the ready. The Singing Bows find themselves in a hard-fought battle with one of the greatest threats the Great Wood has ever faced, the monstrous Tojil. With their arrows bordering it little more than bee stings, they will need all the help they can get if they are to stand a chance of slaying this gargantuan predator. Tojil is of a scalekin we know on the source as a Gobbues. They have very powerful legs and forelimbs, which they can use to rend even the toughest armour. We combat Tojil, being wary of its stomping and slicing attacks as we begin to have an effect on its health. As it senses its own injuries, Tojil flees into the woods in the direction of the village, something the Singing Bows will never allow. Do not let it escape. It is headed towards the village. Quickly, there is no time to lose. The bows mount up and go in pursuit. They change tactics and split into two groups to flank Tojil and prevent its approach to Fano. Tojil stops its flight and proceeds to stand and fight once more. The fight continues as it did before, with Tojil now showing more desperation as it knows it's a losing battle. But on the first, like in the source, cornering a beast will only make it more dangerous. Tojil flees once more out of desperation, with the bows hot on its heels. We have it running for its life. Now is our chance. Aim for the eyes. Sensing its end and with nothing to lose, a Gobbues relies on one of its most formidable traits. They have a special gland in their throats, filled with a flammable liquid bile, to drench any foe in liquid flame. What is it doing? I can feel the heat. This must be one of its defenses. Do not get too close, sisters. We prepare once more to charge and fight the desperate Tojil. Sisters, we shall fight to the last. Tojil begins to spit protective flames from his mouth in all directions, making the bows scatter or be burned alive. On the brink of death, Tojil flees once more to avoid its fate. The tide has turned. After it. We mount up one final time, with the beast fleeing and leaving a trail in its wake. Now we have it cornered. It ends here, fiend. Tojil fights with everything it has, wielding its vast physical strength and flame, doing all it can to survive. But in the end, with a hail of arrows, lances and magic, Tojil falls, never to threaten the Great Wood again. Finally, the beast is dead. May the fallen rest in peace. Is it really over? For now, though Tojil is slain, our work is never done. Let us return to the village.